Today, we're diving into something pretty mind-bending. We're going to go on a numerical detective story to explore this really fascinating theory about a hidden mathematical structure, one that's supposedly woven right into the fabric of the Quran. Okay, let's get into it.
So let's just start with this question. What if the Quran isn't just a book of words, but also a book of numbers? The theory we're looking at today suggests there's a design in there. A design so intricate that it connects the very beginning of the Quran's message to its very end, all through a series of, well, really precise calculations.
So where do we even begin this hunt? Well, our investigation starts with a really old puzzle, something known as the muqatta'at, or the disconnected letters. You'll find these mysterious combinations of Arabic letters at the start of 29 different chapters. For centuries, nobody's been exactly sure what they mean. But for this theory, they're like the first clue, the first little whisper that there's something deeper going on.
All right, so the first step in cracking any code, right? You've got to find a starting point. And this theory finds its anchor by identifying two incredibly powerful verses. One that kind of marks the starting line for the Quran's revelation, and another that confirms its timeless importance. Now, check this out. A theory pairs up these two verses. On one side, you've got the verse from Surah 2 talking about the moment of revelation in Ramadan. And on the other side, from Surah 85, you have this verse that declares the Quran as honored. Think of them like conceptual bookends for the entire holy text.
And here is where the math starts to kick in. Our first numerical clue. You just take the chapter numbers, the surahs, from those two bookend verses, 2 and 85. You add them up, and what do you get? 87. Now, it might seem super simple, but according to this theory, that number is no accident. It's a key. So you might be thinking, okay, 87 could be a coincidence, right? Well, this analysis says no way. It's a signpost. It's pointing us to a very specific verse that's going to act like the linchpin, the thing that connects this whole numerical trail together. And bam, here's the connection. That number 87 leads us straight to verse 87 of Surah 15. And what does the verse itself say? It explicitly mentions the Great Quran. It's like a bridge, confirming that our numerical path is directly tied to the very subject we're studying. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, so now that we've found our linchpin verse, the theory zooms way in. It starts treating the location of this verse like a set of coordinates that are about to unlock the heart of the code. This is where the layers really start to get interesting. Okay, let's break this down step by step. The verse number is 87. Now, if you add its digits, 8 plus 7, what do you get? 15. And what's the surah number? It's 15, a perfect little loop. Then you take that number 15, add its digits, 1 plus 5, and you get 6. Now, this final number, 6, is supposed to point us to the sixth word in that very verse. And that word, wal Quran, which means and the Quran.
So you see what's happening? We have this incredibly specific set of coordinates, almost like for a treasure map. Chapter 15, verse 87, word 6. The theory here is that this isn't just some random location, it's a combination to a lock. So, what happens when we put that combination together? We literally place the numbers side by side, 15 for the surah, 87 for the ayat, and 6 for the word. And we get this single big number, 15,876. Now, at first glance, 15,876 probably doesn't mean anything to you. It's just a number. But in the world of numerical patterns, some numbers have, well, hidden properties. So what's so special about this one? And there it is. That's the big reveal. The number that's formed by the coordinates of the word Quran is a perfect square. It's 126 times 126. This is kind of the mathematical climax of the pattern, this moment of totally unexpected perfect symmetry. But wait, the story doesn't end there. Because that square root, 126, isn't just some random number either. According to this theory, it's the final key that connects this entire long sequence back to the very first numerical patterns that were ever observed in the text. So if we break 126 down into its most basic building blocks, its prime factors, we get 2, 3, 3, and 7. You know, these are the fundamental little pieces that make up the number. And it's these specific digits, 2, 3, and 7, that are supposedly going to connect everything. Okay, and this is where the theory claims a whole other layer is revealed. Those core factors are 2, 3, and 7. And within this specific field of analysis, those numbers are considered a foundational pattern, sometimes called POLA 237. If you multiply them, 2 times 3 times 7, you get 42. And our number, 126, just happens to be exactly 3 times 42. So that perfect square we found, it wasn't the end of the trail. It's actually a direct link back to the theory's own foundational code.
So let's just step back and look at the whole picture for a second. What this theory is really presenting is this multi-layered web of connections, something that weaves together all these different aspects of the Quranic text in a way you wouldn't expect.
I mean, think about it. It brings together the actual meaning of the verses, the numerical symmetry of where they're located, a direct self-reference to the word Quran itself, and this overarching structural design that ties it all together. It's a seriously intricate tapestry. And really, that brings us to the final big question. When you see a pattern this complex, this layered, is it a glimpse into a deliberate, divine blueprint? Or is it maybe a profound example of the human mind's incredible ability to find meaning and order in things that are sacred to us? We've laid out the code as the theory presents it. What it all means? Well, that's for you to ponder.